Okay, students. So, for like the discussion portion of our Secret Lives of Mormon Wives exploration, we have two very special guests. They are from the Also podcast, the podcast that unapologetically is full of opinions on books, podcast, food, and reality TV. Ladies and gentlemen, Meredith and Alicia.
Hello.
Hi,
Welcome.
so excited.
We're so excited to have you. First of all, can I say, like, as a really socially awkward, shy person, how exciting it is to have reality TV and be totally able to connect with like anyone. Like,
I feel like that's the best part of I think that we've found of doing this podcast is there's so many like our podcast and like reaching out to like your podcast is finding those internet best friends who you may not have them in your everyday life, but like being able to connect on this type of stuff.
Yeah. Because it's like, I love my fiance and everything, but it's like he'll never be able. Yeah, it's not the same. It just will never be the kind of connection I have with someone talking about like what did Demi do with the Fruity Pebbles. We'll never have it. Like I have with y'all.
Yeah. Some people just don't care, but I care deeply about what happened to the Fruity Pebbles.
The Fruity Pebbles or just all of reality TV in general. Well, I'm very lucky. My husband does watch reality TV, but...
Is that because he watches with you, or is that because he wants to? Or both?
Okay. He said for better or for worse.
There it is.
He also he edits the show. He's a producer on the show.
That's even better.
Yeah. So Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, we haven't given the season, we've done like our recap, we haven't given the season a grade yet, like we usually do. I mean, you can do whatever scale you want. You can do 5.0. We usually do A to F.
Okay. You can do metric system, whatever feels right.
Whatever. So, what grade would y'all give this season?
Ooh. Meredith, you want to go first? I feel like you've done extensive deep dives.
Yeah. Okay. If I was just going off the cast, because I have timelined majority of their lives, I give the cast an A for sure. But I give the actual season 1 a B plus because I wanted more. I was kind of disappointed with the 8 episodes and how much like hearing that they left out of getting to know each cast member. That's what led me to do timelines is I was like, there's not enough backstory on who these people are outside of just Taylor's swinging scandal.
Yeah. The editing was, we'll get into it. A real question mark.
It was really crazy. I'm like, wait, they're like in a different decade of their life.
That was my issue. I was going to give it a B because as someone who went in completely blind, I didn't even know about the swingers scandal. Meredith just told me to watch this show. So I did. I do as I'm told. And I was so confused why like the first episode happened and then it was like 2 years later. And she we went through an arrest and then there's a pregnancy. And I was like, I don't even know who these people are.
Yeah, they're all
What's
identical.
They look all the same.
Which Alicia struggles with that so much. I told her, I warned her to be careful about the cast.
Yeah,
my kryptonite is people who look alike.
They're like
all different.
And then all kind of the same name.
All the same name, like all the same looking husbands or like significant other.
No way.
And
they all dress the same.
Their children all look alike, and
they're probably cousins.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely.
In defense of Mormons and their portrayal on the show, maybe they were intentionally, I don't know, making it more accurate to the Mormon experience because there's something that brain researchers have called Mormon face. That like people can identify, people can pick out who's Mormon because of like they are like a little
their
bit
DNA is very
paired. Yeah.
If you shaved all their heads, could I tell them apart?
We wouldn't be watching. No, we wouldn't watch. We wouldn't want to know. We wouldn't be watching them with shaved heads. We need our Mormons with extensions and Botox at all times.
Absolutely.
They need to do a TikTok promo video where they all wear bald caps and you guess who's who. I'm genius. I should be hired by Hulu.
Oh my god.
Yes. Hair by Jizz could do the bald cap.
There it is. Free business.
Free biz. What about you, Michelle? What grade would you give this season?
Oh my god. Probably a B. Yeah, I mean, because it was wildly entertaining, but it was just like I did want more information, and the timelines were like insane to me.
Yeah.
And there was so much that was not adding up with these gals.
Yeah. And that's, I think that's why it's good that, like, Meredith, you've done, like, the deeper reading. Like, you've read all the classics, you've read all the sacred texts about these
Canon
characters, the canon. So you can really, we've got, like, an expert.
Honestly, thanks to them, because I didn't know this before I started the timelines, but Mormons are encouraged to keep journals. And so a lot of these women started with doing blogs. And that's why they TikTok so heavily too, is it's so natural for them to kind of keep track of their lives in this way.
Did you read Did you read the Book of Latter-day Saints?
No, I did not go that far.
I would love a timeline on that though too, if you have time.
Yeah. I have thought about doing a deep dive into the religion, and actually somebody DM'd us to correct me on some things in a timeline. Fair. And I was like, hey, yeah, is there anything you think I should know? And they were like, oh, go find your local like Mormon person. And I was like, no, I'm not actually interested in the religion of like joining. Well, because they're like, they go on their missions and they get scattered across the U.S. and the world. Right. They were like, go find your local missionary. And I was like, no, so sorry. I'm not interested in joining the religion. I want to learn sneaky, a little bit.
Like, they're like, they saw an opening. They're like, I want here.
They're like, where's the door? Where's the door I can knock on to like ask you to be part of the church?
Come ride a bike to your house.
Honestly.
I admire the persistence. I guess that is, so like, speaking of their blogs and the origin, I guess that is my main question I still have, is like about the group as a whole. Like, how many of them actually knew each other and or worked together before the show?
Before they were like, are we gonna sort of swing?
Okay, that's the biggest misconception about the show is only Taylor was a part of the swinging scandal. Nobody else was. They all got accused, or like a few of them got accused of being in it, because I would say it's about 60-40% on like who was in and who was out. So Macy, Taylor, Whitney, Layla Michaela were in the original like MomTok group, and then Demi knew them, but I don't think she was like making as many TikToks with them. Jesse and Jen were not a part of it.
Okay.
Interesting.
So they were cast, and like they were cast as Mormon influencers and as their friends.
Correct.
And then they ended up kind of being a few of the stars.
Yes.
Honestly?
Yeah. Jen was actually part of the recast of the show because they paused filming after Taylor's arrest. They were going to kick her out of the show. They basically did, I would say, started to recast and try and get some more cast members. And that's when they actually reached out to and tried to get the other people involved in the actual swinging scandal to come into the show. But when they went and moved forward with Taylor, the other swingers were like, we don't want to do it. And Jen was part of the recast, actually.
Okay.
So they just that explains quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, so the break was because of the arrest.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And until her her final plea deal was put forward, they waited that long to decide if they were going to keep her or not, which was like over a year.
Damn.
That's why we had that 2-year gap.
Yes.
Yeah, that 2-year gap that we wouldn't even know about. That's like when you go on your mission.
Yes. And that's why I kind of feel bad for Whitney, because she gets such bad flack about all the hairstyles, but it's because it was over such a span of time that like it looks super erratic, as if she like changes her hair every month, but she didn't.
But that's not really why
Listen, no defense of him at all.
Whitney gets like, that's not where most of her flack is coming from.
True. But there was a lot when it first came out, because it was already hard to keep track of the cast, and then her ever-changing hairstyles made it feel like there were like 4 other cast members.
Well, and not just hers, but also her husband's hair. Actually, I'm glad that they had different hair, because it was the only distinguishing feature.
I knew who Whitney was. Her husband was always changing it up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Whitney. So, like, do you think that she will come back and continue? Like, is she continuing to be villain on social media, or is she backing off?
Is she gonna be that girl? No.
If she's smart, she should be the villain.
Agreed.
Yeah.
She's a good villain, and every TV show needs one. And whether you love him or hate him, you're gonna get paid. So you might as well just go with it.
And you'll probably stay around longer if you are the villain.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, is this Batman? Hold on. I don't like that. No,
I don't think she will do that though. I think she needs to be loved so bad and adored, and that's what she's constantly chasing. Or like the sympathy. Like she does things to get a reaction, but she always wants it to be this positive or like heartfelt reaction. That's why she did the RSV video. She wanted people to feel bad for her and like throw all this support behind her, but she doesn't like fully think through the action and the reaction.
Okay, because she's got this other baby that's about to drop. Do you think she's gonna do like a sequel video in the hospital?
Well, I hope that baby doesn't get RSV.
I don't want her to get RSV, but I just want them to be like, when they weigh the baby for the first time or something.
Oh, she absolutely will. They're keeping the gender a secret. They want it to be a surprise, which I get that. Like my sister did that with her last kid, but I think she'll use that as like an announcement, really big announcement type thing to get.
They announced the name.
Attention.
What
did they say it was?
It's Billy, and if it's a boy, it'll end with a Y, and if it's a girl, an IE.
Like the razor.
Yep. Exactly.
Sponsored.
What a dream.
Sponsored by Billy.
She really missed doing a sponsored post with that. She said that on a red carpet. Man,
yeah.
Whitney.
Yeah. So I've read like that Whitney has always kind of played this role in life, which tracks with what you're saying, that she's always like wanting the positive, sympathetic attention. I also read that like did her parents owned a foster home?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, and I wonder if that's part of her like I need attention all the time.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
There were a lot of people around. Yeah.
Ooh. Maybe. I mean, there's something weird with Whitney, and it is kind of this like attention thing. Like when she left the group chat and she was like, no one called me or texted me or checked in. Like no one's loving me the way I like want to be loved kind of thing. It almost seems like something's missing. So I feel like maybe if she's like striving for that attention.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nature versus nurture. It's like, is it maybe something in her backstory, or is it close to B personality disorder?
Yeah, we love a cluster B girly.
Maybe it's sibling.
All I say is therapy helps everybody, no matter what your problems are.
Really.
And DBT is best for some.
She's kind of like a Mormon, a young Mormon Teresa Giudice, where she's like, I don't care if the entire cast.
Oh my God.
To me. I'm the star. I'm the real star of the show.
No, that's so
really
true.
Me.
And she's always like the victim, the one who's being hurt.
Yeah.
That's a really good comparison. A star on both sides.
Oh
like,
my God.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that was so on the note.
I want to see. I want to see what happens at this baby's christening, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh
yeah. What kind of cake shenanigans will she get into next?
So gross.
It's so
that was disgusting.
Gross. Yeah. Okay.
Oh
Let's
my
talk about
God.
both cake situations, all the cake work. Okay. So, do you think Whitney hired a baker to bake a cake around her pea stick, or created her own pea stick cake to announce her pregnancy?
If she hired a baker to put a pregnancy test inside of her cake, there should not be a baker in America that is denying like gay people to make their wedding cake. And they're putting literal urine sticks. Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Only one of those things is a crime, and it's the pea stick.
Yeah, and then the audacity of doing this for your friends and family, the people closest to you, and then being like not understanding.
I would need to take like a 2-month break from my sibling if they did that to me.
That is like next level heinous, where even if I was like trying to draw up like what's the most fucked up thing I could do to somebody, I would never be like, ooh, let me put my urine in a cake.
Wouldn't even do it to my enemy.
No.
Yeah. It's almost
the people I love most.
Yeah, it's almost like antisocial, but then I just think it's pageantry. You know, it's her kind of
That's what she doesn't fully think through the like action she's going to do and what the reaction will be. Because it's like, that doesn't make sense, honey. Like, people aren't going to be thrilled that you put your pea stick in a cake.
Yeah,
I know. She's like what? It's buttercream.
Yeah. Well, she really wants to be an actress, so that does track.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
but she's
for LA. She was going to do acting, and then they like moved right back. But
Yeah, they moved back because the show got like greenlit again, but prior to that, they were in LA for I think like at least 2 months. It was basically like the Hawaii thing all over again. They like ran away to a new city, but she was in a few short films, I believe, and did a little bit of acting work, but I've never heard of the things on her IMDb. And to be honest, I like didn't even put them in my timeline because I was like, what's the point?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like she did
it was like Mormon work.
No, it was like real stuff in LA, as real as like you could be for like I don't want to dog those like short films, but I don't know what they are.
You gotta start somewhere.
We've all done some short films in LA, if you know what I mean.
Not those short films for Whitney. Can you imagine?
No. But speaking of porn, what is the Fruity Pebbles cake? We need to like have a meeting of the minds and figure this out right now. What is?
I think I googled it. Okay. I forgot, but I think I googled it.
I don't understand it.
I really don't understand it. I really don't.
So the show makes it seem like it's like Whitney tells a story of Jess sitting on her husband's face, and then Fruity Pebbles. It has something to do with the taste.
Oh, like tossing a salad, but for fruity.
But then Jesse said, like, somebody was like, said that they were like, oh, your vagina or butthole tastes like it, and then Demi was like, no, it's way filthier than that. So I'm like,
did you shove them up there?
But I'm like, that would really mess with your vaginal flora.
I don't need anything up there.
I think when I originally read it, it was like they eat it out from you.
Listen,
but that doesn't sound good on either side.
No.
Talk about
sex education needs to be
like,
brought
what if someone gets stuck?
Okay, by the way, Fruity Pebbles, like, it's not even that great of a cereal to begin with.
No, literally.
Come on, Cinnamon Crunch at least.
Fluids and ass.
Yeah.
Possibly vagina.
Another theory was it was a water sports thing. And that was why the taste was like Fruity Pebbles.
But okay, how does it get to Fruity Pebbles?
This isn't like it's pineapple.
I guess maybe she ate Fruity Pebbles so the urine would taste.
She ate 12 pounds of Fruity Pebbles. That's what she smelled like.
Or it's
not required.
They just smell like soda from Swig, honestly.
Foamy.
Yeah, I don't know. The Fruity Pebbles thing, I mean, whatever floats your boat. I feel like the Mormons were just experimenting with everything at that point.
Yeah.
Because they've been told no for so long, like a kid, you just get let loose.
What if it was just like missionary sex with lingerie?
That's what I thought it was.
That's the thing.
Like, what the fuck?
They eat Fruity Pebbles after their vanilla sex.
My stripper name is Fruity Pebbles.
That honestly,
all
I like
of this
that is plausible because they are, like Alicia said, like are so like restricted when they're growing up that everything is experimentation. So to be honest, anything outside of vanilla sex, I feel like, is up for grabs.
It's
in this
crazy.
case.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why they have soft swinging, which I think was I still don't even know what it was. Making out with.
I think it was making out with a different person's husband.
It was
or something.
everything up until sex. It kind of, when it first started, was like making out and simple stuff, but it kept growing and growing and almost led to sex between a partner swap situation. Yeah, like everything but penetration.
A little boob grab.
All of it.
Yeah, that's a home run for them.
But they all would be, the biggest thing is they all would be in the same room. Like, you weren't allowed to go to a different room with a different partner.
They're just having an orgy.
Yes, that's like the weirdest part of it.
What if you
just
go to the
separate?
bathroom?
Just
Whoa.
separate.
Yeah, I drank so much Swig today.
You yourself could leave, but you couldn't leave and go to a different room with somebody else's husband or
you have to see it all happen.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're going to do it, you have to do it in front of other people.
I feel like that would be distracting. If my husband's hooking up with someone else, I would maybe watch.
Yeah.
To be like, what are they doing?
No, I mean,
No?
I don't know.
They're
Maybe
also
that's
with
what-
another partner, though.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be I feel like my focus would be elsewhere.
Yeah, it's just
My
a lot
focus would be
going
on Joseph Smith. I would be thinking of Joseph.
Hey,
prophet.
well, listen, they've evolved from just like polygamy and like just being one guy and a million girls. Now we've got partner swapping. I feel like this is more
That's
fair.
true.
Yeah, this is the feminist way.
Well, here's what I'm confused about, Meredith, is that like she says the soft swinging was everything but like penetration, but then she's like Taylor says they stopped doing it because they started to get worried that if they kept doing it then one of the women would get pregnant and they wouldn't know who the father is. So
that's,
then I'm like,
that's why they didn't have sex, because
okay.
So sometimes, a lot of times they would go to like a cabin, or they would be at somebody's house and it would just be a giant party. There'd be people at the party who weren't into the swinging group, and it would die down and just the swinging group would remain. Or in the cabin situation, like the swinging group would go to a cabin. And it'd be a different number of like couples, and they would just, no matter what, partner swap. But there were 3 main couples who really did do it. And at one point, Taylor and her husband were with another couple, and they were about to have sex with the other partner. And Taylor's husband at the time, Tate, was like, we got to stop doing this. Like, we should not go that far, because what if somebody gets pregnant?
But why don't they use a condom? Is it
Yeah.
not
They don't believe in birth control.
Even
then they
if,
don't believe in
even if they're swinging.
That's why they all have 20 kids.
Listen, that is
They all look the same.
That's a logical answer, and I agree, but like, that's not what was going on.
They're all about loopholes.
No,
like,
but you gotta stick to your
Like
beliefs.
soaking.
Like, it's
Like
important
soaking.
to have your beliefs.
yes, yeah. I guess let's get into Taylor a little more, the Taylor of it all. One thing that like really surprises me personally is like how much people like her and relate to her on a human level. Like I enjoyed her as a character, but like
Well, I
know,
told
like,
you
as a person.
No, I told
like,
you how I first found her. It was way before the show. I just saw her on TikTok one day, and I would always scroll, like I saw like the moms, and I'm like, but then it was like I saw her on TikTok where it was like, husband's gone, she's getting divorced, and she's in the throes of a really deep depression, and I was like, watching.
I mean, that
Yeah, and
Yes.
Depression, sign me up.
That's
Yeah.
when I found her too.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people find her
we would
relatable.
just go
Is
to
her
Taco
actual
Bell.
TikTok content.
Yeah, she'd be like, get ready with me at 5 p.m. while I clean this corner of my house and go to Taco Bell. And that was her day. And I was like, I like it.
Yeah, that
I didn't know her like that.
Yeah,
I watched her on the show. I thought she was a fun character. I was rooting for her. Mostly because I hated Dakota so much too. I was like, she should kill him in his sleep, but don't endorse killing. But you know, but then it was like everyone was like, she's my favorite. She's the best. I love her so much. And I was like,
She's a girl's
I don't
girl.
know.
Yeah.
She's cool. I would hang out with Taylor.
So Lauren has a very different opinion of Taylor because
Really?
Lauren,
I watched the whole police tape. We're
watched
not
the
going to
police-
get into it.
I've heard it's
I
really
want-
bad. I've heard it's
I
really
want-
bad.
Send it my way.
I read the Daily Mail. That's my news, and it's like the top stories are like teen slain and like dead baby and like bodies found in the river, and like Lauren can't do it, and then she sends me the video, and I'm like, this is too dark for me.
We're big murder people over here.
I could do it.
Oh well,
Yeah,
nobody's
dark.
getting murder. It's just really dark. I don't like to see a white woman, in pain that way.
But it's a little funny to me is why I did watch it, because she is so drunk.
A kid. There was
Yeah,
a kid.
that's it.
I don't like stuff with kids.
Yeah.
The kid.
Before you see the kid, it's like he's like, Dakota's telling the officers, he's like, she was so drunk that she was slamming my door a bunch of times, broke off the door, she was jumping on my car. She almost broke my car. Because she wanted to go back out. She was like, take me back out.
I love
like,
too.
okay, that's
She
fine.
weighs probably 110 pounds and she's causing destruction.
Yeah,
I love that.
King Konging all over.
She has no idea what's happening. She is slurring so bad. But then it just continues going, and I'm like,
but I did also really like her line of like, I was so scared of him. He made me pee my pants. Like,
Yes.
nice try, honey.
my
God. Yeah.
That's why I peed my pants too. When I was in college. I was scared.
yeah. And I called it soaking.
I'm just sitting here soaking.
Soaking.
Party of one.
Okay, yeah, let's get more into her relationship with Dakota. So you really don't like, I mean, I don't like.
No, what's not to love? What's not to love about this guy?
What's
Oh
behind
my God.
pupils?
What's behind his pupils?
You cannot convince me this man's sober. You cannot convince me.
Yeah.
He's
His
more
pupils
than
were
sober.
the size
I
of
know,
Mars.
but I hope he is, because like he had a really bad addiction.
Yeah.
So like if he is back in the throes of it, that is
Yeah, that's
terrifying.
very-
I think we would know if he was on fentanyl. Like he's on.
Well, he
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's-
be here.
Yeah, he'd be dead. Like, how do you
Yeah.
even have a fentanyl addiction and like live to tell the tale? Like,
yeah,
that's
no,
a-
truly.
No, that's very sad.
yeah.
Yeah.
What
It
did
was
they
just-
talk about?
They just have sex. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
They're
why she
always-
got pregnant 3 times within like a year and a half.
They're
That's
like
so
they're like
crazy.
the worst version of like Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton you can imagine. Where they're just like always
Really?
fighting, but they can't live without each other. But they're so deranged when they're together. But there's just
Yeah.
Yeah,
gotta be, like,
every time they're
like,
together.
animalistic, like pheromones. Like something's happening there because like she's really hot and like
Yeah.
listen, on paper she is incredibly successful.
Mhm.
And like this is a guy just like who slid into her DMs. Like, no hate to Dakota, but he doesn't seem like he has a ton going for him.
Agreed.
That's what I get. Yeah.
So I don't and like they don't get along. It's not like he's like this amazing guy that she
Yes.
treats her so well, and it's I don't even know how many times they've probably broken up at this point. It's very,
it's not
very
like-
toxic.
It's not like they got pregnant a month after like really being together and that was the baby they had. It was
Yeah.
over a year after
Yeah.
that like they got pregnant with their now like son. So
Right.
what
It
was
kept
the
them
third-
together?
They have the
Yeah.
most miserable time together. I have the most miserable time watching them be together.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine.
The only thing I can think of at this point, well, I don't think they are together at this point, but is they probably like people. They both seem to really like they really both like the attention, and I think like,
for sure.
are they together? Are they not together?
They love the push and
They
pull of
love-
the relationship that
do,
they have. It
and
is so
yeah,
toxic.
and they do a lot
Yeah.
of TikToks like where they're like alluding to we broke up or alluding they're back
Mhm.
together. The thing that I just dislike about all of it though is like now they have a child,
Yeah.
and like she has
Yeah.
children from her previous marriage, and so I think that's really hard for like kids to kind of witness that sort of behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. On top of everything.
But I will continue to watch.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Unquestionably.
And at least she can never have them on the show because of her settlement
Yeah.
agreement. So it's
Yeah.
like that's
Well,
good.
they
The
might.
new
not the
baby-
new one.
The
The
new,
baby.
new one.
The
new
Taylor
baby.
has said that she couldn't have her children on the first season because Tate wanted to see like how it went down. I would be shocked if they were on it season 2 and beyond, just because
Yeah.
the kids weren't a focal point. But with it being 20 episodes, it might be like the Kardashians. We're like, hey, the kids can't be the storyline, but we're gonna stop blurring out their faces.
Right. Maybe
Yeah.
the storyline will be like Dakota takes his baseball cap off.
Oh my god.
Is honestly what I'm a little worried about is like what
Taking off his hat.
He's been taking with that. No, is like I feel like a lot of the, even though this season was so messy editing and timeline wise, like the magic was because these girls are like so stunted by the church, they're emotionally teenagers, so we get this
Yeah.
really raw authenticity.
Yeah.
So I'm
Right.
a little worried when they come back, they'll be kind of better at guarding and hiding it. I mean, not Taylor.
I
Not
don't know,
Taylor.
though,
Always
because
did.
they were already famous on TikTok. So I feel
Yeah.
like they do filter their lives through social media. And so them being so raw on camera the first season, I think they will get a little bit more guarded, but I think they'll still be putting stuff out there.
Also, like
Okay.
we're
pretty
kind of
great.
like the Taylor and Dakota of it is so toxic, but I don't think any of these people have good relationships. Like I don't aspire to any of these relationships.
Absolutely
They're all kind
not.
of a
That's fair.
Yeah.
If
They're
that is
all
one thing
really
I learned through this journey of timelining their lives, it is like, holy shit, these lives are not one that I want.
Yeah,
No.
like how did Demi's relationship, like I watched your timeline on it that she knew her husband when she was child.
She was 10. She was 10.
like 9 or 10 years old. It was her friend's dad's friend is Brett.
No.
yeah.
Age gaps are like,
Yeah.
ugh, it gives me chills
It's
sometimes.
Like, yeah, like a 10-year-old, like I have to introduce you to somebody. It's like
Yeah, that's so
Okay,
morbid.
it
What-
wasn't like that. He was
like
married
Asian?
to his first wife. He was just
They
there.
waited until she was 18 at least. Meredith, correct me.
18.
Oh my gosh,
Which
that's
is
just when
16.
they first
Which is
were
16
in each other's
Jason-
orbit. It wasn't like they were introduced and like she had like a crush on him as being like this older
That's
guy,
weird.
right?
I try and put myself into like scenarios to like think about it, and I was like, my dad's friends.
Yeah.
Also, like my dad having friends. Ugh.
Ew, my dad doesn't have
What?
friends.
No.
I don't want to think of them in like a text group.
Yeah, gross.
I guess they have like councils of elders.
Oh my
for-
God,
If
Lord.
you think about it, they're not that old because they're all having kids at like 19, 20 to like 25. So, but like those age gaps aren't as big as some of like I'll say the normies of the rest of the United States, like that we grew up with our parents' ages.
Yeah,
That's
They're
true.
hot dads, hot young dads.
like the Baptists.
And then how did it not make the show that he was on the friggin' Bachelor and she submitted
I
him?
know,
Or Bachelorette, like
Yeah.
a recent
Maybe-
season.
Yeah, and also because like Bachelor, Bachelorette, that's like Disney. That's Hulu is Disney too. They
Yeah.
could get the
Well,
footage.
he never actually went on. They started filming
Oh.
and then it got shut
Post
down because of
COVID.
COVID because they were filming in March 2020. And so all the cast members got sent home. Claire got sent home as Claire Crowley's season. And then when they were ready to pick back up cameras later in 2020, he didn't go.
Okay.
They should have still mentioned it. I'm fascinated by the husbands.
I know.
Doesn't he have a relation to Real Housewives of
Angie.
Salt Lake City too?
Or ex, right?
Yep.
yeah, Angie
Just
K.
like Wilson Angie.
That's
Brett
another
is
Angie.
Angie's ex-husband. Yeah.
Do they not think people watching the show like aren't Bravo fans? I would eat that up.
I know.
I know, but it's like they don't. Well, and there was a thing where like Taylor was maybe gonna be cast on Real Housewives of Salt Lake, but she
Oh
didn't.
no, she's not there yet. That's
She's too young.
They-
This
they-
group is too young.
Oh,
It's
no.
exactly what it needs to be.
They thought about casting her. Bravo thought about casting this gal.
Mary would kill her, eat her alive.
Yeah.
I would love
No
to
way.
watch it. I would love to watch
I would
that.
like to have a real Mormon on the
not
Housewives,
not a
you
bad
know?
Mormon.
Like,
Not Lisa's version.
Not a bad
Yeah.
Mormon.
Not a bad Mormon.
not
Not a
excommunicated.
not a
Yeah.
tequila Mormon. I want like a real soft swinging alcoholic
Dirty
felony
soda drinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dating like a fentanyl guy. Like that's the kind of Mormon I want to
Yeah.
watch. The real
Straight up.
stuff.
The real deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
The real,
Agreed.
the real
The
stuff.
real deal.
The real stuff.
Give us the real culture of Utah, please.
Real
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, and I do. I mean, also justice for Whitney Rose, who everyone would mock her accent, and then we'd watch these girls on Hulu, and
we're
I'd
like,
every
oh my
single one.
God.
Oh my god, they're
Yeah.
Whitney.
It's
They
an accent.
all.
Yeah, this is
They're
a
all
real
the same.
accent. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
real accent.
It's real. It's not an affectation. It's
It's
the real deal.
real. It's healing.
Okay, I want to know also, are any of them excommunicated yet, or will they be? Like, how did Whitney get excommunicated and none of these girls are? It seems
Yeah,
not
like
fair.
Monica was excommunicated for
Yeah.
sleeping with her stepbrother.
I don't think anybody
Yeah.
has been,
Brother-in-law.
but I think what it takes to get excommunicated is going to talk to your bishop and like having those conversations and it being like solidified. There's a difference between I think being excommunicated and just never going back.
Oh, they're just avoiding it.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not. They didn't make a call with the bishop.
Yeah,
If
and
they
there
can't
are
catch
also,
you.
there are also two layers I think to Mormonism. This is kind of why I want to deep dive into the religion because I don't fully understand the religion, but from what I've learned is there's church on Sunday, kind of like any normal Christianity, because Mormonism is a subset of Christianity, which like is the biggest shock to me, but
yeah.
it is. So they have like church on Sunday, but then there's temple services, which is actually different than church. And so you have to be recommended to go into the temple. You have to get paperwork saying that you are holy enough to be let into this like holy ground.
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of them are temple recommended, which we kind of heard that throughout the series.
Okay. So it's
a lot
just
of red
like if
tape
you
to
just
get into that
avoid, then
temple.
you'll never have to deal. But then if they try to walk into that temple, then they'll
Temple.
be like,
Shut
the
down.
Mormon
Yes.
police.
This
get
is why
you
they all
out
have
of there.
temple bags. They have like very specific clothes they have to wear.
They
They
have to wear
have to
their
come with their
garments.
paperwork that they're
Their
allowed to
garments.
go in.
Wow. Who's on that level? Is Macy on that level?
Macy has a couple recommend, but to be honest, I kind of feel like some of these people are not going to get re-upped because
you have a Hulu show exposing Mormonism. There's no way the Mormon Church lets you back.
Was it Macy? Who was the one who forgot her? Like in their sleepover, they forgot Jen. She forgot her garments.
Jen definitely had one. Macy had one. Michaela is not Mormon anymore. I know she was part of the Saints, but she actually does not practice Mormonism and hasn't really since she was a kid. And then Whitney, I bet, did. So like all the Saints except for Michaela.
Was Michaela, was she excommunicated when she got pregnant out of wedlock?
No, she didn't even get kicked out of BYU, which is like a huge shock. That should have gotten her kicked out, but she was a D1 athlete, so I think that helped her case. They still wanted her. And a lot of people think her parents made a huge donation to the school.
That helps.
Must be nice.
Who all is rich, other than Michaela's rich?
Macy is for sure. Like, she's a California Mormon, like, from basically, like, I think either the OC area or, like, a larger LA. Jen, not. She grew up pretty poor. Her dad actually lost his job whenever she was in high school, and they were
Doesn't her mom clean like the hospital that Zach's dad works at?
Her mom's an immigrant from Ecuador.
But then her cousin got on Reddit and said they're middle class. Her dad lost his job as an engineer. Yeah, and she played it up for the show. That's what That's what the cousin.
I think they went through a really hard time for a few years there, but he probably is employed again, and they're like
compared to Zach's family too.
Oh yeah,
the Afflecks. Come on.
Yeah,
the Afflecks, the Ben Afflecks, if you will.
Which, good God, what an embarrassing thing. Why would you even put that on the show if it's not real?
I was so wondering if Ben was going to make a mistake.
They're not related.
What's going on?
I don't know who this guy is. But
what was he thinking? Like, what was it a joke that got out of hand? Why didn't he stop it?
It had to be a joke that got out of hand.
No, because he kept talking. Like, my dad knows Ben. They're like second cousins.
Did he say that on the show?
Yeah, he's like, I've never met Ben. My dad has. Like, they're cousins.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, especially because he is related to the famous Mormon scammer, like, David Affleck or whatever. So I was like, why would you? You know, people are going to look it up. And
I saw your TikTok and went, that criminal.
Like,
criminal.
It's just
you
like
you don't need an Ancestry.com account to figure out. Like, they're not related.
The Mormons made them.
Yeah. It's in the book.
It was also weird because I was like, Ben Affleck's not Mormon.
No.
Like,
Ben Affleck is just down bad.
Yeah, he's dealing with his own issues. He doesn't have time for his fake family on this show.
He can't get rid of these Jen Afflecks fast enough.
Oh my God. So many Jens just creeping into his life constantly.
There's 2 Jens.
Yeah, he's like, I thought I divorced you both. There's a third.
She shows up.
Yeah, it's like whack-a-mole, and he's like, wait, there's another popping up.
So you mentioned that, like, you're excited for next season when we'll get to see more of, like, the ladies who are sidelines. Like, who do you think will be like a major player that we're not expecting in season 2?
I don't know if she'll be a major player, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Michaela's journey. She has like really severe skin illnesses and just like health issues that you can see. Like, her face is so like sunken in, and she has really dark eyes, a lot of it, because she's just dealing with so much illness. So I think kind of watching that through that lens will be really interesting to see.
I want to see more about her husband because she jokes that her husband hates her on TikTok. And I would love to. I'm sure he hates the cameras being around.
He does.
Well, my God, I want that dynamic.
Fired. Did you hear that he got fired from his job after the show came out? Yeah, no. So he's like a stay-at-home dad. I saw like her Instagram or something, and she was talking about it right after the show came out. Which, like, I feel like Michaela and her husband were probably like the least problematic of like everything.
The Mormons. It's the Mormons.
But he was let go from his job, so he's just like her caretaker and a stay-at-home dad.
Oh, now. He hates this show. Now she has to do it because they don't have money.
Yeah. But like all of these women, they would talk about on the show, like they were the primary earners.
The breadwinners.
Yeah, rock out.
Maybe it's like why Whitney's husband was fired, which is that he worked for an MLM and the show fired him actually because they didn't want people to sue them for being an MLM. It was bringing attention to it.
I feel like that's what a lot of Mormon businesses are.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It is an MLM.
Is Jen gonna come back to season 2? She hasn't been doing promo.
I was pondering that.
To.
If she is coming back, I don't think she'll do promo because they want that question out there.
Yeah.
You could convince me that she'll move back to Utah for like 3 months for filming, and Zach will still be in med school, and maybe they'll like play into maybe there's a separation. Like I feel like she'll make it a storyline of why she's in Utah.
I hope Zach doesn't come back.
I don't think he will. Maybe he'll be in an episode or two, but
not like consistency. There's no way his family's not going to let him come back after what we did to him.
I feel like he would come back because he wants a redemption. He doesn't want I don't want him back, but I feel like they would want I don't want to go out on this note. Like I don't because want to think of me this
his family, the way they talked about Jen online after the show,
terrible.
Gross.
Terrible. The Afflecks are terrible people.
They're awful people.
But I don't know. I want Jen back because I think there's still a lot left. Zach, if he's smart, won't come back because again, a lot of us watch Bravo and we hate the men 90% of the time. So we're gonna see right through any redemption arc he tries to throw in there.
It's giving
after Vegas.
It's giving Sandoval trying to be a good
guy. Like I'm drinking a Heineken Zero.
That was my favorite bit.
As
a side note, my favorite bit from Vanderpump Rules season 11.
You better have gotten paid for that, because if not,
drinking a remember when sidebar to Sandoval when he his sober journey when he was taking shots of water
loved it, hilarious. There's
only one person who can do that for me, and it's Carter Radke. He can take all the water shots he wants because I think that's hilarious. Everybody else, don't do it.
It's a funny
thing. He has admitted he has a serious problem, and Sandoval has not.
Well, Sandoval would go I'll cheers you with my water shot. And it's I don't care what you could drink gasoline for all I care. Just throw it back.
Have a good time.
I don't care.
And he would have non-alcoholic tequila and stuff out. He was just still just
it was so performative.
It's he's on Molly the tap water.
Seriously,
at least use the Brita, okay? You don't have
literally
to get from the tap,
My favorite was when they got that Nexium cult type meditator lady and forced and let go of all the emotion in your body and forgive him.
And he just yelled.
Oh my god. That's what we need these husbands on Secret Lives to do. Is I need all of them to go to an exorcism setup.
They won't
do a Sandoval thing.
Wait, a husband outing would be fun.
I don't want to see these husbands out and about. What are they out and about in Utah doing?
Connor's going to be living out his dream.
What we can
about
do,
how they don't contribute financially.
The ladies can get together, and while they're doing voiceover talking, we just see the husbands being idiots together.
B-roll.
They don't speak. Just some B-roll.
B-roll, they're cheersing their dirty sodas.
Their swig. Well, it's when they were in Vegas, Zach was there and Dakota was there, and they didn't hang out.
The two worst.
Well, Zach was also remember the gambling he was doing?
Oh my god.
Dark-sided.
With Jen's money?
He doesn't have his own money, because they were also talking about on the show when he was going to go to medical school, he was not working. His parents gave him, I think Jen said this, they gave him a sum of money. That sum of money was supposed to pay his tuition. And it was gone within months. And that was before he even started school, registered for school. All of that money was gone. She's the only, that's also why I think they have to come back to the show.
Oh, absolutely.
His family can give him money, but
how lucky is he that his wife became famous on social media and can support them?
Real income for the house. Because was it them, Lauren? They lived in the basement of his parents' house or something.
Parents' house.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what I'm confused about is he just graduated as a doctor of osteopathy. Is he that? So he's done.
No.
10 more years.
He graduated from undergrad, but they kept acting like he was already in med school.
He's not a medical. He hasn't done residency or anything.
He graduated from undergrad on the show.
Yes.
And he didn't get his med school he became a DO instead. He's not a real doctor.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh,
I don't know the path
he's
in
not
med school. That definitely was not my journey, but maybe that's a common one. Instead of doing like
It's
biology.
cheaper.
But he talked about he talked about going to med school, and being a doctor of something is very different than going to med school. And I only know that because my sister went to med school and she's a doctor.
Good
So I
for
like
her.
She's still, yeah, we're all very proud.
Yeah.
She's still,
Would it ever be me?
yeah, she's still working. Like, she's almost done with her residency, but it is like a very different
long
thing.
commitment.
There's deals, but like to be an MD is like a very different path of like you have to do your MCAT and then like you have to match with the school.
Which like that's what he's doing next, I believe, is like the whole actual med school. But yeah, they talked about it as if he had already been through med school.
I don't know. Let's get Ben on the phone.
He just needs to get Ben on the phone. He'll get to the bottom of it.
Ben is the one who's supporting this man's lifestyle because also like Zach, Ben Affleck, notorious gambler.
Oh, it runs in this
maybe they are related
family.
Yeah, I know way too much about Ben Affleck, but he's banned from several casinos in Vegas for counting cards.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa! I didn't know Ben
Affleck is fascinating.
Damn.
That should be the next timeline.
He would
fascinating
get
guy.
he's a card counter.
Noting it down.
He's like Good Will Hunting. He's a genius.
Yeah.
He's also like an alcoholic. So
yeah,
I think
he would be in a blackout, but yeah, he would be like kicked out. Like he's banned from like several casinos in Vegas for counting cards. Like
maybe Mormonism would be good for Ben Affleck because maybe he could
they'll hang out at the casino. And like Dakota, like that was the other thing. I just didn't understand what these guys were doing in Vegas. Like Dakota was just like walking around the strip. But
it's for the show. They were there for the show.
Taylor gave birth. Yeah, and he's just that man.
Yeah, but it's like
he's that man you see walking alone late at night
with a backwards baseball
Put your
cap.
keys through your fingers.
Yeah, your pepper spray's out at Dakota.
His wild eyes peering at you.
That's what he's doing in Vegas.
Yelling at a girl on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like say he was sober or not sober because I mean, like everyone's on their own journey with recovery. I'm not going to say that I understand what that's like, but I do understand what pupils look like when I have not been sober. And
that's all we can go off of.
Yeah.
They maybe have looked similar to this man's.
Maybe he has unusually large pupils. We don't know.
And that happens.
We don't. Who's to say?
He just got his pupils dilated at the doctor's.
We
There's
don't
so
know.
many possibilities.
He got glaucoma tested every day.
Zach dilated his eyes
every time they filmed.
Every time they filmed.
It made him look pop on screen.
Yeah,
you know?
those like that Utah sun, what it does to your pupils. Like
honestly.
But wait, who do you hope next season that we get a little more from?
You know what? I want to see more of Layla because I feel like she's got a really interesting story. She's really quiet, but it's like I kind of want to know what's going on with her. I mean, I think like everything was very like Taylor and Whitney. But like Layla's going through this divorce. She's very, very young to have these kids. I want to know more about her, and also just like because she was not raised Mormon. She converted to Mormonism, and she sort of talked a little bit about the history of like racism within that religion. I think it would just be kind of an interesting. I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, I just want to watch you talk about racism and your experience, but it would be like
it's a very unique perspective for her compared to the other girls.
Yeah, and like her, and also like. Her extensions don't look like the other girls too, so I'm like, I like you.
Yeah.
She's the only one I could tell apart, honestly, for the first 4 episodes.
Yeah.
The only one.
Yeah.
I feel like she's gonna be a. Yeah,
I think she's
gonna be a sleeper.
I
want to see her dating,
Well, just like it is so interesting. Well, because like I think if any other how old is she? Like 22.
22,
I think she's 23.
Yeah, and she has like 2 kids already. Like I think any other 22-year-old with 2 kids who's divorced and like dating now, most people would be like, that's crazy. But like she's gonna be dating other Mormons. Like this is pretty typical.
It's normal.
So,
It's
normal in Salt Lake. So I would like to see that. I mean, I still want to see what's going on with Taylor. I think she's great to watch. She can dance. She can get arrested.
She can dance.
She dances.
She can dance. She has
She's
babies.
a single threat. Yeah.
I did like
she's
seeing
single
like they're
fat.
behind the scenes prepping those TikToks and making some of them because like we're all on TikTok, but not dancing like them. So it's always interesting to see the setup of when they do that like content creation type weekend. So I kind of want to see more of that.
When they like
Yeah.
walk in the circle and they're like, you
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah. I think that's the real magic of the show too. Well, first of all, that they all signed such bad contracts
Oh
that
my
Hulu gets them
God.
for so cheap. They get them for 6 seasons, like their life rights, basically.
Yeah.
And then
Oh
that
my God.
their professional job is promoting the show, and they were already pros at it. So
Yep.
it's just like a slam
Genius.
dunk, dude.
No, it's like those when you get signed to SNL, like you get signed for like 7 years and then
Yeah.
they can just drop you at any time.
Damn.
Except except this is worse. Who is this worse contract?
This is where, honestly, whoever came up with that contract is kind of a genius.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
I hope they
thankful.
got a promotion, a
hope they
raise, a
get, like,
bonus.
Like an attorney somewhere, like shows up this season.
Well, this is why like casts should really band together. Like I remember like hearing about a few Bravo casts always like negotiating their contracts together. I think Summer House did that their
Summer
first
House is
season.
the best at
And like
doing it.
they really went to bat for each other. It kind of reminds me of like when Friends did that.
Oh
like,
yeah, I was
the
just
entire
thinking of
cast
Friends.
banded
They were
together.
like,
Yeah.
we're gonna
Summer
be
House makes me
together.
happy knowing they're all paid the same depending on how many years you've been there and you all start at the same level. It's kind
Me
of
too.
crazy. So yeah, this cat, but they're newbies. They didn't know what they were signing up for. I can't imagine they watch that much reality TV because they're all mothers at 22. They don't have time.
Oh, I bet
Yeah.
they're just on a lot of social media. I think they're
Yeah.
very just keyed in, so they might see clips of something.
It's a different story when you watch Bravo.
But I do think they watch a lot of themselves.
Oh,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
They have to edit all their
lot
TikToks.
of
It takes
themselves.
hours. I post one TikTok and it takes
Oh
me
my God.
45 minutes.
I mean, it's like I need to do it. I keep telling Lauren I'm going to.
It's
Haven't
once
done
you
it
start,
yet.
it's also a black hole because you like get these ideas from seeing stuff on TikTok, and it just
Yeah.
I can't imagine being a mommy content creator, looking at myself all day, posting my kids all day. Like I just would not have a normal brain anymore, personally.
Dude, the darkest part, I think, was when Michaela, they were like, can we see the selfie on your phone? And she's like, it's of me. And they were like, what about the one before that? She's like, they're all of me.
all
And it's
of
all
me.
the same
It's all the same
picture at
picture.
slightly different
Oh my
angles.
God.
I was like, this
Who
is
has the
like,
patience?
This.
Who
Yeah.
has the
But
actual
also,
patience?
it's like I
Their
think about
Instagram husbands have to.
well, and this is
Yeah.
also like their job, and they're making 6
Mm-hmm.
figures doing that, and they are young mothers who don't have like husbands who are like bringing in a ton of money. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, it's like if you got to do like 1,000 pictures where it's just like
This is why I think they won't have many barriers in season 2 because they already have
Mm.
this warped sense of like self
That's
because
true.
of social media that like they're willing to give it
Yeah.
all and like
yeah. Do they have a work-life balance? I'm worried for them.
They're going to burn out by the time they're
I'm worried for
26.
these
And then
girls.
what?
But I mean, I say that, but it is like I do think about just like even if I'm on social media too much, and I like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, and I'm critical of like the way that I sound, the way that I
Oh,
look,
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
like what that does to you. Like, luckily we've been lucky to not get like a ton. We haven't really gotten like any talk
Hate
about
comments.
our appearance.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen now, but I would like
People love to hate us, so good luck.
I know. I'm like, I would lose my mind if, like, every day I just
Yeah.
read comments
Yeah.
constantly critiquing my looks or the way that I sound or my parenting.
Maybe
I mean,
that's
you
what
are
got to
putting it out.
Whitney.
Yeah. Maybe
No.
maybe her brain is broken
Oh
by
my God.
internet.
She
I
did
don't-
that one video dancing with her
that's the
sick
thing.
child.
I
and it
don't
broke
condone
her.
what she did, but I can't imagine getting hate 2 years later from that video.
Well, and I
Yeah.
guess the show sort of brought all of that back up because
Brought it
I,
back.
yeah.
I remember seeing that video or at least somebody commenting on it when it came out and being like, that's insane. I never knew who did it. And I
Me
didn't
too,
think
yeah.
about it, but
I
now
have
because
never
the show,
seen it.
like,
Didn't even
I've
know
I've
about
never
it.
seen it.
yeah, I know who that is. And like, it's resurfaced all over again.
Yeah. I remember seeing it and going, I don't get it. Is her baby really sick? Like, I was like,
Her
is
baby
this
was,
real?
like,
It's a joke.
Oxygen.
And then I
Yeah.
kept
Like,
scrolling
They
because
had,
I was like, I don't
breathing
care.
tubes.
Guys, but the trend now of people like having people lay on the ground
Yes.
and dancing over
Like
them,
a seizure. Like
iconic.
Pray for them.
Pray for
I
them.
know. That's why I usually lay on the ground recording this podcast, and Lauren's like,
should
"Wake
do-
up!"
Have your husband do it while you lay there.
Yeah.
Have him learn the dance.
I got oxygen.
Well, this has been such a delightful
This was so
time
fun.
talking
This was
with you
so
guys.
fun.
We close our podcast with an oral exam, which is like a 1-minute topic on any, or 1-minute essay on like any pop culture topic of your choice, like whatever flavor you'd like. Would you guys like to do an oral exam?
Oh my God.
Ooh. Yes. I'll say yes.
Wow.
to that.
I'm going to have Alicia do it for us.
Okay.
Ooh, I never
So
get
I
that
just pick a
option.
topic?
Any topic you want, you say, I'll start the clock, and you'll say, in this essay, I will prove, and then you just pop off.
I love
Oh my
this.
God. Oh my God. I have so many. What did I recently save?
Yeah,
Oh,
you guys
I'll
make
just
TikToks
go-
all the time. So yeah, you've already got one locked and loaded.
Oh
You
my
can
God,
play
that's so
it.
good.
I'll just go off one recently that I discussed
Okay.
recently on
Okay.
TikTok, but still.
Okay, cool. Okay, this is Alicia's oral exam. Her time starts now.
Okay, in this oral exam, am just going to talk about how Bravo fans naturally are just more socially and like mentally aware than like the rest of the community. Hear me out. Okay, so Love Island came on this season 6, broke the internet. We all loved it. I have friends who are not Bravo fans, and they were like, oh, we love the boys. The girls are so annoying. They're not good enough. Like all this shit. And it like drove me nuts because I was like, these men are trash. I hate them all. And I just learned that like people who don't watch Bravo don't understand how like terrible men can be and how like we go into it immediately knowing men will disappoint us. And everyone else, it fascinates me, goes into shows thinking like, I can't wait to see how great the men are. And I just think that's stupid. Because I have proof. We have receipts and timelines, all of it. And I just think that that's so fascinating, and I want to look into it more. And I can't wait to watch other shows to
And
see what happens.
Oh,
Right,
that's
that's
so
good.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see someone. Well, I have seen my husband like watch like Vanderpump the first time, and he's like, "This Jax guy, what a hustler!"
I love
And
it.
then-
Yeah.
No.
Hey, to give us ourselves credit, like too, we used to be that way. We just slowly
Yeah.
deprogrammed.
The world
Yeah.
is changing,
Yes,
and it's
more
led
our-
by us.
Yes,
Yeah,
our
the world-
expectations of men are like
Have
lower
dropped.
and lower.
Are so low.
And
It's
men
the
still don't
Heineken
meet them.
Zero.
Heineken Zero.
Heineken
All right, that was
Zero,
great.
swig.
Meredith, would you like to do one, or is that just the official one?
I feel like
from
that's the
team?
official.
yeah.
There's nothing in this brain but timelines,
She's
and I
like-
feel like
she's
nobody
like
wants those
polluted.
right now.
No, you shared
No.
so much. You've
Oh my
really
God.
emptied the content, the encyclopedia of Mormon
Yeah.
knowledge that
Yeah,
you've given to
like,
us.
I'm
We're so
like-
grateful for it.
I every night stay up looking into these people, and
She
I
has,
will
like,
continue
highlights.
going. If anybody
No,
wants a
empty out your
timeline,
brain.
you let me know, and I'll do it.
I love it. Well, so where can our students find your podcast?
You're everywhere that you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, every app, just also podcast. And then we're also on socials on also_podcasts on Instagram and TikTok.
And they have such a good TikTok, you guys. They love me. Yeah,
I'm a perfectionist, so I like need things to be
Don't
pretty.
be mean to them. Don't be mean to them on TikTok. It's really hard, okay?
Well, if you are mean to us, Alicia will be mean right back.
I
Doesn't
love
harm
it.
me at all.
I when I used to post on TikTok, I will get back to it, but I did post. Jason, you can cut this. Anything you want cut. That's my husband, and you just Jason, cut this. Our marriage. I posted about Jax saying that his son started regressing after getting vaccinated. So
Oh my
I posted a
God.
TikTok about it where he's like, don't take medical advice from this person, and then showed a clip of him thinking he had breast cancer from
Oh, that's
steroid use.
Supplements.
hilarious.
But oh boy, did the people come out in droves.
That's my
And the
biggest
best kind of
fear.
people, too.
Let me at him. I'll
Yeah.
defend
Love
you
it.
till the depths. Let me know. I'll come through.
Yeah, and then after that, I posted a TikTok about Taylor Swift. Like, Louis and Teresa were at Coachella. right next to
Yes,
Travis
stalking
Kelce
the hell
and
out of
Taylor
them.
Swift. So I posted about that. So it was like literally like the two TikToks side like next to each other were like the most insane fan bases on the internet, like the
Loved it.
Swifties and the like the anti-vax people. And then I was like,
You're like, I need a break after this.
It's like a year and a half long hiatus.
That Jax one is genius. That is so funny.
Well, and also, I mean, I have a daughter who is autistic, so I get very upset when there's
no, same. My brother's autistic. It drives me nuts.
Yeah. Anyway, so my oral exam is on autism and autism. No, it's not. But anyway.
Oh my God.
And now we said it.
Genius, though. I wish I had thought of it. I would have done that. Hilarious.
Any excuse to use that clip of him dumping out his like fin and
oh
he's
my
like,
God.
I mean, just the idea of like Jax Taylor like doing a breast exam, like so.
Yeah. I loved him telling everyone like they felt something. It might be breast cancer, and it was like.
Listen,
him and Whitney with the like needing attention and like they are literally right there with each other.
I know. They will soon be.
Sheena's hanging out with the Mormon wives. You never know. We might cross paths.
And this is what I love about Sheena. The girl will do anything and everything.
I love Sheena for that reason.
Whatever show is doing well, Sheena is like saddled
like, hey, up. If it's popular, Sheena's there.
She's going.
She's got a Book of Mormon. Like she's talking about Joseph Smith and casual conversation.
Paperwork.
Like, what?
Honestly,
she's like my garment.
It's so smart because VPR, it's not long for this world. Like Ariana's gonna leave. She's like, I need an exit plan. Like, convert
Everyone
me.
thinks it's gonna be the
Brock was Mormon, so they could join.
Smart. She's a hustler.
I don't know. He needs to. I don't like Brock.
Put her on the show.
That makes
sense. On my show.
We hate all the husbands. Bring on Brock.
You know what? Actually, I just realized you'd be perfect on the show, Brock and Sheena, because like she works, he does not. He brings in the money.
They fit right in.
Oh my God, add her.
Yeah. Let's give her a swig cup and the Book of Mormon, and
she doesn't really drink either.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my God,
perfect.
I'm hoping for it.
Hire us, Hulu. We can cast.
Whitney and I did ketamine. My favorite part of the whole thing.
I've never done it. I would be too scared.
When they said that, I'm so sorry. This is running over, but when they said that, I literally spit my drink out, and I was like.
What? Yeah, I was like,
I know people who do ketamine, and I don't think these women are doing ketamine. I didn't know it was a therapy.
The only reason I knew was because of Tyler Balteri. Is that how you say his last name? I always forget. From Teen Mom did it on Teen Mom. So like that's the only reason I wasn't like, what?
You should say Whitney and I did ketamine therapy. You shouldn't just say ketamine.
Correct.
But you two
doing it like they're not allowed to drink, but they're deciding to go in a K-hole. I'm like, oh my God, that's
yes.
It's medicinal. It's medicinal, Mom. Respect my therapy choices.
Hey, if they'll go to therapy, they can have as much ketamine they want.
Go off.
I don't know. So I'm not a ketamine person.
Yeah.
It seems
I do
like
love that her K-hole confession was like, I'm not sorry about the video at all.
Yeah.
I was like, girlie,
your deepest, darkest secret?
We did all already know that.
We did.
I had to be like, I don't regret this.
You shouldn't.
But here are my actual regrets. Like, I don't give it up to my 401k. Am I a bad mother?
Yeah, really.
All right. Well, we've already kept you guys way over, but it was so fun chatting with you.
This was so fun.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having us. It's great to meet you guys.
Great to meet you in person.
All right, bye.
On video.
Bye.